Well, welcome back to another great episode of Comedians in Bed. I got another great guest here with us today. This is a spot where comedians can be comedians, and I don't really know what that means, but it sounds like something you should say on a podcast. And as always, I gotta give an introduction for our next guest. Our next guest is a multi-talented man. I don't think I've ever seen a comedian so well groomed as our next guest. Like literally solid in the flesh, putting the oil on and everything. As you see, his face is very, very moisturized right now, not a blemish in sight.
Right.
So it's going to be a very, very beautiful interview. But besides that, man, he's very funny. I had the pleasure of doing a show with him in Chicago, and now we have the pleasure of having him on our show here today. Please give it up for Trayvon Fulton, everybody.
What's up? What's up, man? Appreciate you. Thanks for having
What's
me,
going
man.
on, man? How you
What's
feeling
up?
today?
I'm great, brother. No complaints, man. I mean, I appreciate all the accolades, but you talking about me, man. But like, what you not hearing and talking about is that voice. You got like, yeah, welcome y'all back to the podcast, baby. You know what I'm saying? This is Tie After Dark, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
Yeah,
like the podcast is the only place where I can use my real voice because
yeah.
usually I don't really use my real voice when I'm out and about because
I
people.
mean, the voice, bro, is a thing. Like I don't have a baritone voice, but I have a heavy voice still. But like on stage, like I talk like you got to project, you got to do this, you got to do that. And when they hear us talk, like without like, yeah, right here, like this is what we talk like, and they go like, where that voice come from? Me like it's always here. Actually, it's just I just have to. And what, man? Don't let me just wake up, man. I'm calling somebody. What's up, baby? What's up, baby? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm calling somebody. You know what I'm talking about? Go.
I need to do better at projecting. I usually just be like, yeah, like this is the joke, and like
I
I'd be a
mean,
little too monotone, but like I be trying to, yeah, I be doing too much, but I need to do a better job at projecting on stage.
when you get it got a good sound person. Some places you got a good sound person. You good. Like take them
Yeah,
with you. If that's you, bring them to your world. You know what I'm
yeah, we don't got that here. Yeah, yeah, we don't got that here. We talking
saying? For
about
sure.
Columbus, man. We not in Philly. How is Philly? First of all, glad you woke up today.
I appreciate same to
A little
you,
dangerous
brother.
out there. It's a little dangerous out there.
Go ahead. You talking like you not in Columbus, Ohio? Come on now, don't do that. Like
Yeah, it's getting worse, but y'all got real killers. We just got GTA killers.
Bone Thugs from Ohio. What you talking about? Bone Thugs, like funk music is out of Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it don't get no more cocaine heavy than funk music. Like, come on now. People was
yeah.
they was dying over that too.
I have heavy abusers of cocaine in my family.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't know where to go with that. I was like, dang, my bad. I ain't mean to trigger you, dog. I was just
Nah, man. Do you like Philly's not that far from NYC? How often do you run up there to hit up spots or do shows?
um lately, it's been often lately. You know, I don't have a schedule of what I try to do. But lately it's been like this winter. I've been there like 3 or 4 times. I'm actually going back next month in July. Not July, January. Going back first week of January. Yeah, I thought about it. A side note, I say this, but I'm actually coming back to. Oh, you in Ohio? Not man. I'm gonna come back to. I about to say I'm coming back to Chicago. You Ohio? Yeah, I'm coming back to Chicago. Well, New Year's Eve, I got a gig out there, but I be in New York more often now, especially, and I'm actually moving. I'm moving to New York City.
Okay.
Yeah, in the summer, next summer, I'm moving. This lease is up. Once the lease is up, man, I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and make that move.
Is it for strictly for the career?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
How crazy? I've been saying this lately. Like, how crazy does it sound like we're moving for a job that we don't have. Like, right,
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
for
Like,
the thoughts of possibly, maybe,
yeah.
like, and I'm already like, and this is what I do full time. This is what I do, and so like, it's a very broke path. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's up, it's up. When it's not, it's not. And I'm moving to struggle even more. Dang. Like you, like, is it for the career? Yes. There's no other reason why I would be moving. Like I would like to have just money in the bank and go to work and come home. But then again, I wouldn't.
What are you gonna do with your car?
I don't have a car in Philly.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean that makes sense. In Columbus, everybody has to have a car. Like
Yeah,
we don't really
nah.
have good public system. Okay.
Nah, dog. I get to where I gotta go to. I got two streets, one this way, one that way. This way is there's hood adjacent where I live at. This way is more hood. This way is great. So, anytime I'm like, depending on which area I'm going to, if I'm going this way, it's in the light time. I'm going that way, I'm coming this way. I don't care if I gotta walk around the joint. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking that way up every time. So yeah, you don't really need a car to get around in Philly. It helps, but you really can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an inconvenience, really, honestly.
Yeah. I wish I had. Well, I wish I lived in the city where I didn't need a car. Um, but I just pay mine off, so I'm gonna take mine with me whenever I do move. So
Yeah, of course, man. That thing you would never get rid of that thing.
yeah. When it start to mess up, I think about it. I think about it heavily. I was like,
Yeah,
man, let me look up Carvana, see what I can
yeah,
get out of
nah,
this.
bro. This it ain't. It's not worth it, dog. It's not worth it. I had a
Yeah,
car note once, and that was it. Other than that, I just go ahead. I pay. I'm done. You know what I'm
yeah.
talking about? So
When we did that show in Chicago, was that your first time doing a show in Chicago?
yeah,
How,
and I
how did you
drove out there.
how did you feel about it?
Oh, it was cool, man. I enjoyed myself, right? Like Chicago showed love. It was a few things I had to like get used to, right? Like in Philly and like the whole East Coast scene, right? It's not as nice. So you're in the green room, you used to saying what's up and that's it. And like kind of like on guard. You know what I'm talking about? You like you just sitting there, you got your space, you like, yeah, this is my space right here. Don't come. And Dave had to be like, man, you good, man? Like, hey man, you ain't got to be that way here. I was like, you right. It was weird, you know what I'm saying? People kept talking to me and stuff, and I forgot what it was like to have people like, be nice to you. So the experience was fun. It was there was quite a few hecklers in the crowd, quite a few. Um, but I mean, I'm out of Philly. That's a Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
it's too easy. And one of the other comics, they was like, "Yo, you handled that perfectly." I was like, "That's Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday for me." So it's just like you get used to it. But it was fun. It was good. You never really know what your stuff is like until you get on the road. So, and I had to switch. I remember talking about because I'm from Virginia originally, right? But my career started in Philly. So, like when I started to travel and stuff, and people would just say I'm from Philly, I just went with it. Like this is my comedy home. This is kind of what made me. It's like Dave Chappelle from Ohio, but he from DC. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, or whatever. Like so with stuff like that, I was like, all right. And I had to remember what it was like, and it was fun. It was fun. Everybody was cool. I don't remember why I brought up me being from Virginia, and because I was going somewhere, but I forgot about I forgot about
I,
that. But
I was seeing if you could bring it back.
yeah, I forgot, dog. I forgot. But and I don't even smoke. I don't even smoke. I'm not a smoker, but I definitely forgot that joint. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was
Ah.
fun. All in all, it was fun. All in all, Chicago was fun. It was a great place. I'm going back, like I said, on New Year's Eve, and they show love, man. So, how'd you enjoy it, man?
I have been there before. I have been there before. That was my second time. So I kind of like I don't know. They different. Like they they talk about your set, like, in the beginning, like, right
Yeah.
there in the audience. So, but
Yeah.
I already, like, expected it, so I was like, when they do that, just keep going, and then eventually it gets, like, mad silent, and they just listening to you, if they like you, I guess. But, yeah, I like it. It's always fun. I've been trying to get more out there because I wanna, that's where I wanna move to. I wanna move to Chicago. Uh,
Yeah.
I just think, it's just a I think when I move out there, I'll feel like a real comic, like,
Okay.
when you hear you only do like one mic a night. I mean, there's
Mm.
some nights there's a couple mics, but they kind of like run into each other, so you gotta got kind of like pick and choose. But like there, like I feel like I can like really like because I have so much stuff I want to like try, but it's only so many spots. So, but yeah, that's why I've been like trying to get my foot in the door there so I can like make it like a as easy as a transition as possible. So like how have you gone about like making your transition like to NYC as easy as possible? Or have you already like got your foot in the door with like networking and stuff?
Yeah. So what I did was I just because it's so close and that people from Philly go up there and take over and and when you go up there and they hear you from Philly, a Philly person bring you along. They'll go, all right, cool, and they're gonna make a call back to Philly, and it's a few key specific people they're gonna call, and if that person says give you the stamp of approval, then you good. So me and knowing people already up there is really what's making the transition easier. I have my own room, Comedy Jawn, every Monday in Philly at 9 o'clock. Me, guy named Keith from up the block, and my boy Sam. And so because we have that, I can establish leverage so people can come down to do my room, or I'll go up there. And sometimes I'll just take the trip, go up there, hang out at the club, and just hang out and just be normal. You know what I'm saying? Because it's I got so much stuff by just being a normal person, bro. Like in this game, comics are weird, and it's kind of like you don't become weird, you become guarded because you meet so many weird people, and you like I don't know what time you on. So yeah, yeah. So we got to be so guarded, and that laugh was a laugh like, yeah, yes, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I
Because I
met
say I
you
say
at
it I say it more harsh than that. You said it real nice. I say
well,
it more
what I mean, it depends. Like, I mean, I ain't never been super aggressive until it's time to be super aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So like, I just be like, hey, what type and food? And I have the luxury that when I say that, people just let it. I be like, hey, my man, yo, like I don't know what type time you on, but we not finna do that over here. And they just roll with it. They just don't try it. And I'm glad. And they be like, this, people. I mean, you get the vibe. I'm not the toughest guy, but people get the vibe. They be like, even if I win, it might not be easy. And I'm like,
yeah,
exactly. You might win. That's cool, but you gonna feel it. So it would so I do that and so they awkward. So me going up there, knowing people, networking with people, and just being cool, that is what made it happen. Two, I revamped my social media. Like I made my page look very professional. I just invested into it. I don't post pictures that's blurry on stage. You know what I'm saying? I post quality pictures on stage, quality pictures of myself. So when they initially see it, even my Avi picture, when you first pop a little circleage on, when you first do that and they see it, they'll judge automatically. Oh, okay, before they even open your page. So I took all of that and took that into account, and that is what made it easy. And then I will bring them down to do Comedy Jawn, and they'll see and they go, "Oh wow, okay." Now they're more likely to give me stuff. Um, and the last thing is, I'm a veteran, so like a lot of people, I get in spaces like it was like my first time doing one of the major clubs on a weekend. There was for a veteran-owned show, and a booker saw me and was like, "Yo, want to get you back up here." So that was how I got in. I used some of the stuff I had to get that. So that's how my transition was. And what I would say, I mean, you already got enough people in Chicago, right? Like Dave, OJ, you know what I'm saying? So and the other people that was there, I would probably say, go. But you want to know the thing I would say to you or to anybody, right? And not necessarily to you. You already doing your thing, but like quality stage time. So like as long as you, because when you get to bigger cities, you get in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, So, but me going to New York, I remember that we were going out to the show in the Bronx, and I was with a comedian there, and this other guy, he's a comedian. He was telling this female comedian, and so her and I, she's a veteran, and so we hitting them different spots, and so this guy like, yo, what's out in the Bronx? You know what I'm saying? This, you get 10 minutes. We like, we in Harlem, we like, man, we ain't finna trying to go all the way out to the Bronx. And he's like, bro, but you get 10 minutes. And I'm watching their faces. They're like, yo, but I could use the 10 minutes. And for me, I'm like, 10, y'all don't get that much time. Oh, okay. And like, I, t- 10 minutes is, I'm just getting started. So, um, so that's what I would say, quality stage time too. Before moving, make sure you get that quality stage time. Because I don't know what it's like in Chicago. I know it's a lot of clubs and stuff, but you might not get as much time starting off either. So I would get a solid 15 to 30 or 20. So now you can really like, and when you do that and that's already tight, you chop that into five, you killing them.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I forgot what was the next question was gonna be. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but um,
Hey yo, that's crazy. Now I'm messing around. Up
but
here, you can't say nothing like that. We be like, hey yo, tip of the tongue is
uh,
crazy.
but what I was thinking about was like, yeah, that's what I've been doing, just like making sure I know people like in different cities, but like here, like you only get like uh it's just different. Like you get like the mics be like 5, sometimes they give you like 10. If they trust you and you're good, they give you 15 minutes at a show. But the clubs are just real it's real narrow, you know. Um so that's why I was like, all right, I'm a bounce, even though Chicago got more people, but I feel like I can become a better comic because I'll have more opportunities to like get get where I want to go, basically
Yeah.
pretty much, and get more spots to work out what I want to work out. And so that's just what I've been doing, like just reaching out to people in like Chicago and just like doing stuff like this too, like and just making sure like when I show up that whenever they see me, like they get like a good representation of just like who I am, kind of sort of.
You got your own room in Ohio?
Nah,
I personally, just my personal opinion, I would get your own room, and that way you now get to work out as much stuff as you want. And I mean, it's not really for you, it's for other comics so they can showcase their stuff. You looking out for them, you giving them another place to work out. And you now get to work out however much. And once you do that on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, you're working that muscle way more and you become sharper, you come up with new material, you have more time to like tighten up your older material, so you're kind of like putting it into your own hands. You ain't waiting and going to other people. That's the one thing I'll say, bro. You know what I'm saying? Do that. Now make the move, but you know what I'm saying, in the meantime, try to do that. And then you establish leverage. People will start coming to you now, and you establish that leverage, and you will make yourself high on a list in the city, because they'll start coming to you. They'll start wanting to do your stuff. And they'll be like, "Ooh, can I come to do your joint?" You know what I'm saying? And when you come around, they'll that Ty, he got this room, it's a dope room. And that's how people start talking about you.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking about doing it. I was just trying to find the time to like pick a day to do it.
Yeah.
Like pick a day as I'd be beneficial. Because like the mics that we got here, like they're cool and everything, but they're still like fairly new, so it's still trying to like find its
Yeah.
footing or whatever. So yeah, and I still need to learn hosting. Like I'm not trying to move like tomorrow, but like I still need to learn like hosting, and I thought that would be like a good opportunity to get to
Yeah.
like that too. So yeah. Um, how many clubs do y'all have out there in Philly?
Punchline, Helium. and this place called the Jester's Castle. So it's three.
Jesters.
Um, yeah, the Jester's Castle is a fairly new club. It doesn't really have anything on like Punchline and Helium because they everywhere. Um, but the thing is, Philly has a lot of rooms, a lot of independent rooms, and a lot of mics. Like on Monday alone, there's four places to hit, and they're all within the vicinity, like of my room, and they're all there, so you can hit all four. Tuesday, that's three rooms that you can hit. Wednesday, there's two rooms that you can hit. Thursday, there's two rooms you can hit. Friday, it's a few showcases around the city. Saturday, you go to the club or whatever, and Sunday they got another place where you could do a showcase and mics there too. So it's so much. So it's not plentiful with clubs, but it's plentiful with stage time.
How do you go about picking? How did you go about picking your room?
They kind of came to me. So Comedy Jawn was already there. So when I first came to Philly, it was one of the first rooms I did, and the guy named Keith from up the block, Keith and Toure does thing called Philadelphia Comedy College, and I went to that, and Keith was just he was saying I was already in comedy, so and I was in the military. This is right when I got out, so I just was able to like go hard now, and I was helping out. Like I do live sound, live audio. So I think Keith really just saw it was like, yo, I won't have to do the audio if he helps. And I think that's really why he brought me in because I would help him do audio at Comedy Jawn. And then one of my closest friends, the guy Sam who hosted, like before hosting, that was like my first friend in Philly. That was like my dog from day one, and we like super super close. And Sam was hosting it, and when Keith was like, "Yo, Sam, I'm thinking about bringing Trayvon on. You cool with that?" Sam was like, "Of course I'm cool with that." So, and I think that's why he chose me because I brought value. That's another thing I'll say too, man. Like adding value. Like so many people want to just get on shows, but they add no value, or they want to hit the road with somebody, but they don't add any value. I hit in the road with the guy named Toure, and I know how he like to set up his merch. I know how to go into his phone to set up the John from the card machine and that stuff like that, and help. I just add value. And that's why people rock with me. So I think that's how I got started, adding value, to know how to set up the sound at different rooms. So he ain't had to do it.
What was that process like of getting all the service to? All right, I'm gonna go chase my dreams. What was that like? Was that a conversation with the fam, and like, what was that like?
Well, it was a conversation with my ex. Um, and that wasn't the easiest of conversations, I'm talking about, like, so but the process, because I did it when I was in, and when I was deployed they had this open mic we'll do like every Sunday, and I just kept going and kept going, and then when I was like, yo, when I get back I'm gonna do it. And I didn't really get a chance to go as hard because I was still in. So when I got out, I was heartbroken because not in a relationship or anything anymore. So guys, we don't heal from it. We just be like, man, I'm finna just do whatever. I'm finna like smash holes to the day I die now. I'm talking about. So like I didn't want to do that. So I just like put my energy into something else, and it was like the gym and it was comedy. So I just went super hard with that. You know what I'm saying? And now we're here. So that's what it's like. It was a difficult transition only because it was weird not being in the military anymore and like learning civilian stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it was different, but
What have you used in the military to help you perfect your craft in comedy?
um one, timing, understanding people, um seeing everything at, like, knowing how to see everything at once without making it seem like you seeing everything. Like the other last week, it was Sunday, I'm at this gig and I got 20 minutes, and I'm on my closing joke, but I'm like, man, I'm close to 20, but I haven't gotten a light yet. But he's like in the back and I'm talking, and like he looks at his phone and he just That was the alarm. I thought I was gonna be.
No, you straight.
All right, all right, bam. How do I do this thing? Come back to you now. All right, bam. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
And I saw he had his phone out, but from the stage, way in the back, I can see that it says 17 minutes. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can stretch this out. Now, the average person is not gonna like see the time on his phone when he just walking past and chilling while still saying the jokes and staying present. I learned that. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's something that I will say. I think I gotta wipe this camera up now. You know what I'm saying? All right, bam, there we go. That's better, y'all. Right? That's better. So, um, that also understanding uh what understanding timing, understanding pace, understanding people because I had to like yesterday I had a gig at a German pub and I was stationed in Germany. And I told them I was like I actually used to live in Kaiserslautern in Mannheim. And they're like, and I knew a few things in German and I would say that. I said that and this lady was like, oh my gosh, how'd you know? And I was like, because I was a whore in 2019. That's how I did. So it helped me be able to relate to different people. That's the military taught me that. And the last thing I say, the military you're in charge of your own career. Like when it comes to promotions and everything, like you don't wait till anybody give it to you. You know what you need to do, be at the right place, right time, right uniform, pass your PT, pass your weapons qual, and you keep all your documents, everything, and you submit it to the board. You gotta go and how you present yourself to the board and stuff like that. And so you're in control of that. So I took that, like my career is in my hands. So like when people they be like, oh, I'm gonna let it come to me. I don't. I send out emails, I send out bios, send out headshots. I go to meet people, you know what I'm saying? I even go dressed up to like, as if like it's an interview or whatever. And people like, yo, how you get these things? I'm like, cause I'm in charge of my career. So that's that's the biggest thing it taught me.
What what's like the next step? Like, okay, you're going to New York. What's your goal for New York? Like when I get to New York, I need this, and this to happen.
Um Well, first, when I go to New York, I'm not finna burn myself out. Like I've done that before. I know what that feels like to like not be normal and just like just do this, and then I'd be like, yo, I kind of suck as a human right now. So that's first. I'm not finna do that. But my goal is just to get there. Kind of surveyed the lay of the land. I've kind of already did that, but it's different living there because I'm now not a guest now. I'm not coming up from Philly and they can look out for me now. I'm now their competition. So uh, go there, get plugged in with my Philly people, uh, use my resources, see what's happening, get my own room now, and because Comedy Jawn, the guy who started, he started it in New York with the guy with a New York comedian. So he already has the connections. He just hasn't done it anymore. So I'm like, yo, let's take this to go to New York. And once I get my footing, have my own, I establish my own leverage, and I'll get my own stage time. So I'm not asking. And then people, comics, they hungry. They don't want to deal like, yeah, hey, can I come to you? Of course you can do my room. And they have their own room and they're gonna be like, yo, you wanna come? Absolutely. And the goal is television. I wanna do I wanna do a late night set and I would love to and I wanna do like television period, just because I like live broadcasting. That's about my first love. So do that, get in, become better, figure out the process, become the best person I can be, and then I'll worry about all those other things. Just be good, bro. That's what I'm thinking about. Just being good. Because when the moment comes, I don't want to squander it, and I don't want to have it and not keep it. I want to when I get there. When I get there, I stay there. So I'd rather like be overqualified.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's kind of my goal.
Yeah. Um. With like, is it more pressure to get into a club in New York? Some people feel like that's the ultimate like check mark that like maybe you're a comedian now. Is it the ultimate pressure because there's more clubs, so it's like, dang, I can't get into not one of these. You know what I'm saying?
Um, it is a well, I don't live in New York, so I can't speak for what it's like in New York. Um, so I won't do that. But from what I see is yes, there's a pressure, but we also understand the hierarchy of what happens, getting in there. Like only one is allowed, or one type of person. If you're a laid back, deadpan black comic, is only one. If you're a high energy black comic, is only one. If you're a heavy set female, we got one heavy set black friendly female, is only one. You feel me? If it's a veteran, it's only one. So, um, so from what I've gathered, people kind of, if you're not in, they kind of just already understand. As long as you funny, that's really all that matters. When you hit the stage and you kill it, you just earn respect that way, and the rest of it seemed like it's just timing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's what I've noticed. I mean, it's the
yeah.
same in Philly. Like the clubs that might not be rocking with you, but for the ones that do, you're like, okay, we understand why. Like I know why I got in at the clubs. Like I remember my first club weekend was T Murph, a Chicago comic, and obviously they bought the black guy with them. You know what I'm saying? And so the whole lineup was black. The whole lineup. It was me. Then there was the feature Anthony Moore. He's from Philly. He live in Chicago. I mean, he live in New York. And then they bought T Murph. So it's a lineup of all black guys there. So they was like, yeah, we'll give it to him. It's kind of how it happens. You feel me? So, and that Helium, the ones that I was on, they were black shows, and I send them tape. Like, yeah, which I do all type of rooms, and I'll send it to them. But it's at their discretion. So it's the same here. Like, if you don't get on, but you funny, you good.
What do you mean by you good? Like, elaborate on that.
Like if you're funny, you're solidified. They don't really care if you haven't really done a club or not. Like, cause somebody gonna put you on a club. Like, the locals who have a showcase, and they'll like, yo, I want to bring Trayvon on, and that's how I got in at the club originally.
Hmm.
Somebody brought me in, and I'm like, okay. And so, they it's not they don't haze you or as much because you're funny. If you're not at the club but they know you're funny, they're kind of like, don't matter, you already funny, so you good. Consistently funny, I say.
Yeah, yeah. What I've been to Philly for a show, but I've never done comedy there in Philly. What describe a Philly comic if you had to describe one?
Yeah,
Describe a Philly comic.
we aggressive, man. We're aggressive. We come out the gate firing hard because you have to. Like you said in Chicago, they're talking about your set during your set. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how it is. That's every day in Philly. 'Cause Philly is a hard nosed, hard working city,
Yeah.
and that's what they have their identity for. Like Eagles fans, think of it like you think of a whole city full of that. A whole city full of people screaming, chanting, spelling Eagles. Like that's what it is. So a Philly comic is aggressive. They are they are witty because they have to be, and they have a commanding presence as soon as they grab the microphone because they don't have the time to like let you get your stuff off. You can't go, hi, good evening, how are you? My name is Trayvon Fulton. This is what I will be doing for the night, and then no, hell no. So that's what I would say.
um with you being a Philly comic, being aggressive and what bro, I forgot the next question.
Well, let me ask you this question. What's it like? How would you describe a Columbus comic? Or not a Columbus, an Ohio comic, period?
Yeah, I can't do Ohio. I'll do Columbus. I feel
Mm,
like because we're also different. I can't really describe Cleveland yet because I haven't really been too much up there. Because Cleveland's a little bit more farther, and I
for
just don't
sure.
feel like doing a drive. But I'll just say like in general, like the comics here, they're a little uh very dark, very dark.
Okay.
um, yeah, very heavy on the dark. At least like the core group of it. Like there's a mixture of like some vets, um, and then some vets that don't get the stage time they think they should, and then
Yeah.
the same with newer or middle, but like 4, 5, 7 years, like 10, where you know they do local shows, and then there's just do local shows, but the newer like the vets that are like on the younger side like 15s and like they're pretty they're pretty I don't know why the word cordials come into my mind, but they're pretty like friendly, there's not it's not like aggressive or anything, but it the punch is packed for sure. But
Okay.
definitely like the core, like the younger core, like they're pretty dark. But which is so weird to me because like Columbus is so well, it was like family oriented, but now I don't know like how to describe Columbus like in a transition right now. So it may actually benefit them to be like dark, I guess.
I mean, Satoyo, a comic in Philly. He's from Columbus.
Yeah.
I think Satoyo was there tonight at Attic, the Attic John. I don't know the name of it, but
Yeah.
were you aware of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Satoyo was coming there, and that makes sense because Satoyo is a very cordial guy, very well put together guy, but he's been doing it, 14 so years or whatever. So that makes a lot of sense. There's a guy named Rob Ward, but I think Rob is from Cleveland.
Mhm.
Um, he's a pretty well put together guy, cool guy. So that would make sense.
But I would say like one thing I've been noticing is Cincinnati has like probably one of the better scenes in Ohio. Like
Mm,
and not just in Ohio, I think just in general, Cincinnati is a
correct.
very underrated scene. I kind of
Okay.
like would compare it to like DC, where
Oh,
like
okay.
like when you look it up, you'd be like, dang, that person came out of there, that person came out of there, that person came out
Mm.
of there.
Gary Owens from there, right?
Yeah, and then like uh somebody last name Warren, I forget last name first name started with a G, like Gary Warren or something like that. I forget. But and then like Cat I would probably say Cat Williams considered himself to be from the Cincinnati scene too.
Yeah.
Like yeah, Cincinnati has a lot of like full-time headliners that like people know. Like it's very
Cat
underrated.
Blue in Atlanta made him big, but his first special was filmed in Cincinnati, I believe. His first
Yeah,
one was filmed in
like
Cincinnati.
I think he's born here. Like I don't know how long he stayed here. Like I don't know. People talk and stuff, but like they say like he kind of started off in churches here and then went off and did other stuff. But yeah, like I know he is from born in Cincinnati, but I don't know if he was actually raised here. But yeah, like Cincinnati has a lot of things. But I'm interested in seeing what my scene eventually becomes. But right now I just say it's like a regular scene. You could do a mic, you got your couple clubs and you know. So I
Okay.
just try to use it for what it's for, like
Yeah.
writing and just getting stage time as much as possible for whenever I do go where I want to go.
Okay.
I'll be well seasoned. That's how I see it.
For sure.
It's like my workout period.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Learning the ropes and everything.
There you go.
How do you stay encouraged with going keep going when you've been in the game for so long?
Um, that man, I don't know actually. Like sometimes like this is like being in love with your abuser. Like you kind of be like, I'm leaving, and you come right back in the house. It's like I don't know. It's man, I don't know how. I'm kind of in that space right now, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Like like I told you, this is what I do. And they're like, I'm like, I can just get a job. But then a gig will come through and that alone covers rent. And I'm like, all right, okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you, God. So um what I try to do, bro, is like I just take it with whatever I feel, I roll with it. Like if I'm a little discouraged, um I just kind of acknowledge that that's a part of the journey and a process that you're gonna feel that way, and just kind of allow myself to feel it. I kind of just be honest with myself and understand seasons. So when it's up, it's up. When I'm like I'm hot, man, I'm bull, what I'm saying? Whatever, like I'm popping and I'm everywhere, and when I'm not, and I am getting discouraged, or even in the time of where I am doing well, but my personal life is going haywire, which it happens. When your professional life, comedy wise, is booming, personal life is crap. And then when your personal life is good, you got money in your pocket, you ain't got to worry about nothing, whatever. Your comedy career is kind of like struggling, and you like, dang, can I find the balance between the two? So I just take it, what comes with it, So I don't really know if that's an answer or not. I'm just saying, how do I stay encouraged? I just allow myself to feel what it is I need to feel.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your
I
way?
just, I about to say, I just tell myself they don't know me. But I think it's different because you in like a scene that's known for comedy. So like
Yeah,
for here, it's like they just stumbled into a bar, like you know what I'm saying. So that's why I be like, man, they don't know me. So I just try to like check in and be like, well, did you show 100% of yourself? You know what I'm saying?
okay. Well, let me ask them. When you said stay encouraged, then what do you mean stay encouraged when they're not laughing, or you talking about stay encouraged when
No, no,
I'm
no,
like,
no, no. Yeah, you took it right. I'm just
okay,
saying like that's yeah. That's like because I'll you get off stage, you could be like, man, why am I doing this? But then like I did a don't tell show and like they're fun, but they're brutal. Like here they are, like. And then people like when I go out to different cities, they be like, yeah, I heard your don't tell scene is like one of the best ones, and I'll be like, it is like, like not trying to blow down, but like
yeah,
you be up there, and then like you even like talk to people that are like funnier than you, and you ask them how did they do, and they be like, yeah, that first show was just rough, like it just be like that. So then it'd be like, dang, do I want to keep doing this? But then I'll be like, man, they don't know me, like I'm not,
yeah, yeah,
what I'm
yeah. I
saying,
get
like
it.
yeah, like
You know something? I think that I'm so prepared for war after Philly. Like, bro, I'm telling you, Philly, yo, Philly scene. It's so much I gotta go through just to get to the gig. I sent my sister a video yesterday because when I go back home in Richmond, I've been living in Philly for so long now. This home now. So when I go back to Richmond, and this guy was on drugs, and we can obviously tell. And she's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm walking. I'm so immune to it, right? This guy asking for money, and how I'm just walking, talking, and I got her and my nephew, and we getting in the car. My two nephews, and we getting in the car, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "No, it's cool." And then when he's about to walk up and ask me a question, like I know how to handle it then or whatever, like to make sure he don't walk up and I ain't got nothing. And she was just like, "Why do you just seem so immune?" I'm like, "This every day." And I sent
yeah,
her the video of the guy talking to himself, waiting on the bus. And I'm just like, yo, I go through so much to get to the show. I got to take a bus to the train, then get on the trolley to get there. And then when I get there, they're like, fuck out of here with them nut ass jokes, like immediately. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's so much that I had to go through. And then when I go through now, then I go through it. And then I'm just like, I'm just ready for war. So I think, when I hear people say tough and I see it, and I'm like, yo, this is, and not to say it just because I'm out of Philly, but I'm like, yo, this is nothing on Philly. Like, if you see Satoyo, like, if you go to the attic and talk, ask him, like, who has a more brutal scene?
yeah,
And he'll probably tell you, oh, yeah, he probably will like, "Whew, man, Philly is different." He'll probably tell you,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it prepares you though. Philly prepares you for the next level. It
yeah.
really does.
I don't feel like Columbus has prepared me like in that way. Like there was a mic, but not this scene, but there was a mic that would be like, oh shit, like okay, I just grew a couple more hairs on my chest after doing that set. But I think Columbus has prepared me in different other ways, like how to deal with comics, how to deal with their personalities, how to be professional online, um, how to go about booking shows, how to go about throwing shows, producing
Yeah,
shows. And I think that so then when I get to wherever I go, it'd be like, okay, yeah, it's a little bit more, but I've already been here before and I know how to handle it. So I'm glad I learned that here because if I would have learned it like in a bigger scene where comedy was more prevalent, I probably would have been like, you gotta do all this. I'm all right, you know. But
yeah.
now that I'm here, it's like nobody's really paying attention to us anyway. So it's like it's easier to make those mistakes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
that's why I feel like a lot more stress. So now I'll be like, I'm not in a rush to leave. Like I want to like make sure like when I leave, like be like, yeah, it makes sense that you left, you know, and not just be like,
Yeah.
my people be like, why he do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so um, yeah. So
Be
I
ready. So when you leave, you can when you leave, you can stay gone. Ain't nothing worse than you dipping and then you coming back with that tail tucked between the legs. You know what I'm talking about? And everybody like, you couldn't hang, you know. So be ready when you dip, be ready. And the key is we're never really gonna be ready.
yeah.
You got to go up there, you got to get beat up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And you good. And when you come back to the crib, they gonna be like, "Yo, you really been going through it, yup." But I can tell that's a good thing. So when you dip, you can stay gone.
Oh yeah, like I feel like wherever I go, like it definitely like I'm probably gonna be like drastically better within 3 months because it's gonna be like get in the gym with Mike Tyson. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm looking forward to it because I'm like, it's a change of pace or like what I need, I
Yeah.
guess, whatever.
Dang,
So,
we crazy. Listen to us. We're crazy, yo. I look forward to getting my ass whooped so I can be better. We are crazy.
because I feel like it'll be worth it. Like here, be like, it's Columbus. Should I really cry
Yeah,
about this set? But if I'm like in Chicago, New York, LA, I'll be like, all right, like that's what it is.
yeah.
Like let's figure it
It
out.
comes with it. It comes with it. Yeah, yeah. I get that.
Man, who's on well actually I haven't asked this in a while. What's your like what's your worst bombing story?
um, I just got to Philly, and I was telling jokes about Virginia and being in the country, and I didn't read the room at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you in the country when you see seven mailboxes and no houses,
Mhm.
crickets. I'm like, no, 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 no. You in the country when the name of the bowling alley is called the bowling alley, crickets. And somebody was like, yo, whose man's is this? He was right there in front of me, dog. He was like, yo, fuck out here with them nut ass jokes. And I was like, you right, these jokes are they some nut ass jokes. And then he was like, look around you. And I'm like, he's talking to you, nigga, you look around you. Do it look like we know about the country? I'm like, so that this ain't it. That ain't it, dog. That ain't it, bro. That ain't it, bro. Just go ahead and get off stage, bro. And I was like, I would say this has been great, but it wasn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and go.
That's
And it was at the Comedy Jawn,
mhm.
which I now host. So that was my worst. That was my worst one.
Real
So
quick,
now you understand when I say why it's tough. You
how quickly do you turn over jokes? Because you're in a bigger scene where it's more taken seriously. How quickly do you turn over jokes? Like come up with new jokes and like memorize them and shit. Because like here, like the reason why I ask is like here, like I know like people will like repeat sets or jokes to like get it better, whatever. But like people will literally go like 3 years with the same and
I
nothing.
I cycle mines out like every year or so. Like every 6 months to a year, I cycle out some new stuff. Um, but you got to think, dog, to like really perfect the joke. Sometimes it take like 3, 4 years, and
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
to
Yeah.
get the timing down. Like I've learned that I tell long form stories, and I didn't really come to this conclusion until people start telling me that this year. And so after working those things, I learned how to like shrink them down, how to get to the parts right, time myself. I literally time it. I'm like, I want to hit this word in 30 seconds. I want to hit this word in that, and and I like practice it. So, and that takes time. That takes time. So, the thing is, there is no, I don't, I mean, yeah, cycling through every like a year or so, 6 months to a year. But at the same time, I just know when it's time to work on some new stuff. You just know. Like if everybody like, man, that's the same joke from, what I'm saying, a year or two ago, but it's like, yeah, but did you see what I added to it? Did you see how I added the eyes movement, that or the silence to it, whatever. So and but when I'm ready, I'm like, I know when it's time to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's so many stages that like it don't matter. They ain't see this. This, you know what I'm saying? And people follow people. So if they're erupting in laughter, like you're gonna naturally be like, yo, this guy's good. Like even if you heard this joke 40 times.
Yeah. 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 That's one thing I struggle with. Like I write all the time, and I try every Monday to like with the mic I hit to do like a whole new set, just to see like if this works or not. Like keep it, tweak it, whatever. But yeah, like sometimes I get bored with jokes. I'll be like, I don't know what to do with this. It's funny where it's at right now, but I'm gonna shelf it and then come back like 2 months, 3 months later. I'll be like, oh, duh, do this.
I do that. I do that too. Sometimes I'll shelf it. And I remember my homeboy, we did music, and somebody said to him like, yo, you too new not to do your old stuff. They might care if you got a new song. That song was a hit, and you sitting there talking about, oh, that's old. I did that last year. Don't nobody what? Or 2 years. Hey, you too new. Don't nobody know you.
Yeah,
Do it. And so for me, I feel like you don't become a better performer that way. You become a better writer, but or you become better with creating topics, but you might not become better with understanding how to perform these jokes if you just keep going and going and going and going. Um, that's my opinion. So I mean, I actually struggle. I be feeling like I don't have new stuff, but what helps me with the new stuff is like I talk about me. And so I start off and then I just always talk about my experiences. So when I'm don't really have anything to talk about, I know I need to start experiencing some things in life outside of just comedy. Start doing something new. Start hanging out with some new people. Take a pottery class or something that's gonna spark the creative brain in a new experience.
yeah. I feel like well, I feel like I didn't think about it at the time because I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing. But I think I felt like this, like probably at the top of this year, I felt like I had just got like a 5 minute set. And that was
Okay.
like 4 years. That was like 4 years in.
Well, I
And then
mean,
when I looked at the jokes, I was like, yeah, you have been working on these for a minute, or like different topics, or I was like, take this here, put this here, stuff like that.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. And then like now hearing you saying out loud, like I'll be like, yeah, about 6 months. Then I'll be like, all right, new page.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And everything doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So like you got a new five, and that might and within that one joke is like a killer, a hit. You know what I'm saying? And then you add all those things. So when you put that, I've the most I've done is an hour. I don't go around saying that I have an hour because that's a whole different type of monster to do an hour consistently. So I don't really advertise more than 30. So having that, I know automatically if I have 5 minutes or if I have 3 minutes, I just I don't really have a set. I can just walk in and kind of just like get a feel of the room and be like, all right, I know what I'm gonna do. And tell like two, three stories and I'm out. and I just knowing how to, but that came from practicing them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, I like the fact that you were honest. Like yo, that take time. Like yo, like 4 years, like the top of this year, I just got my 5 minutes because people be like just in and like yeah, you know what I'm saying. I got 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying I got yo. One dude said he had 5 hours.
Like,
Nigga.
yeah, I was sitting there. I think because I finally got they don't not this year. Was it last year? I think it was last year. Was it? Yeah, it was last year. It was last year. Like they was doing like monthly showcases, and that really helped me to like figure out,
Yeah,
okay, this is funny. Okay, this isn't actually funny. This is bar funny. Like this is amateur. This is pro. Like, and that once that helped me like being in the club on the main stage for a whole year, then I got to like really like be like, all right, this is like what are we talking about? What's like okay, let's leave the sex jokes. Let's be more personal, like stuff like that. And then once I did that, and I just look back at it, I was like, damn. I mean, I was doing shows and I mean, shows here and there. I was like, man, you really didn't have anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then when I looked this year, and I was that year from being in the club, and then I looked this year, I was like booked every month. I was like, well, you actually had something, like to now, like you know, just from rewriting and getting more comfortable on stage. I was like, okay, you're working your way up to like 15. I don't like to say like I like to say like until I know like it's killing. I'm not gonna be like I got 30, I got 40. Just
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
just being me and me. Like I'll be like, yeah, I got 15, but like, is it a strong 15? I could. It's a strong 12, maybe. Like what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like what I'm saying. So I'm gonna do crowd work in the beginning to make up for it, or whatever, and then we go from there. Like yeah, but like being honest with myself, I was like, oh yeah, you just got like solid five like at the top of this year. Like yeah, one that people was like, hey. Like that's good. Like, yeah, like when you going up,
bro. 5 minutes is so valuable that people don't think about it.
Yeah.
Chris Tucker got on from 5 minutes. Bill Bellamy became a star from 5 minutes. Every like yo, when you think about it, 5 minutes is all it takes. And when you come with that killer tight 5 minutes, they're like, oh, they see that. Hey, I got a movie for you. Hey, I want you to do this. 5 minutes is all it takes, dog. So don't do that. You good. Like, yes, you want to do longer, absolutely, right? But that does take time. But dog, when you get that killer 5 minutes, you unstoppable. When you can chop them down like that and that quick, you unstoppable, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh okay, so the question we had side road, we had got like we sidetracked for the
We
longest, but
comics, bro. We just be going.
what's was who's on your Mount Com blah, who's on your Mount Rushmore of comedy?
Um, I get this question all of the time, and as you as a comic, you get this one too. Um, my Mount Rushmore is not necessarily the people who are considered the greatest, and these people I'm about to name, they are really great comedians. They're amongst of the greatest, actually. But my Mount Rushmore is not just off of like accomplishments. It's about the people who have been monumental to me. Because when you think about Mount Rushmore, it's not that these men were the greatest, they were just the monumental to the start of this country. Slavery or not, you know what I'm saying? Like they were monumental to like putting laws and institutions and stuff in play for this country. So that's how I look at it. Who's been the most monumental to me in the development of me? And I'm Roy Wood Jr., Ali Sadiq, Toure, and if it's a fourth person, I'm a I'm gonna go with Kev. I wanna do like Cat and Eddie Cat and Richard Pryor, and those are like just like the funniest people who started the funny like for me. But those four people, like Kev, has changed the lives of like my friends. Legit, he single handedly has changed my friends' lives. And I know where Kev come from. I see where he come from, like, and he's I haven't met him yet, but like I have met Spank and performed with Spank and chill with him and other people that Kev is cool with, and it's kind of like he's so close but so far. Like anytime I was supposed to go meet him, my boy was take me to meet him, I end up getting booked or something. So um I put Kev up there for that. Two, because two had Two Ray. When I say two, I'm talking about Two Ray. Two has That's the person who took me on the road. He take me on the road with him and travel with him, and he just dropped the joint the Netflix special, and him with some more, and so his stock went up. But like he literally told me the game. Like, I would say a joke, and he'll be like, "Man, you know what? You talking too much on that joke. Cut it down. Do this." I'm like, "I bet." Like, no, no, no. Like, go when you go back out there, do it. I'm like, "But I just did the joke. Go do it now." I'm like, "But I just did it." But it's gonna be funny if you do it and they laugh again. That's how you really know it's funny. And I'm like, "Dog, I just like I don't want to. If it's funny, I want you to just get the timing of it." So I'm like, ah. So it's like having a boxing coach. Like every time I used to come on stage, like, "All right, boom. So this what you did. I would do this, right?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So very influential to me and my style and my delivery. So probably the most influential, honestly. Uh, Ali, because Ali was the first person to actually like put me on stage. He gave me a spot, and I just met him. We was chopping it up, talking. He was like, "Hey man, you got 5 minutes?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I didn't. I didn't. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell him like, "Yeah, yeah, I got 5 minutes." You know what I'm talking about? I went up there, I was talking fast, super fast, and rushing through. He was like, "Man, that was good, but you got to slow down." And he doesn't give me a lot of comedy advice, but he's anytime he's near, he always show love. What you doing, man? How you been? You good? What you want? And I be talking to him about regular stuff. Like, hey, 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 talk to me about comedy. I appreciate you talking to the man. We good, but let's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got Ali Sadiq in your face. Let me help you. What you need? Him and Roy Wood Jr. And because the reason why Roy will be up there, because Roy is people are now starting to see that Roy is like genius level. But like for years, this nigga been that way. And I was around him for like 5 years before he ever saw me perform. He never saw me perform. I would just be around, just chilling. And the very first time I met him, he bought me drinks and he bought me pizza, and we just chopped it up and talked. And he was like, "If you ever in New York, just hit me up." And you remember how Martin on a Martin show with Varnell Hill, like, "You ever in LA, baby? Let me know." And he just, "Yo, I'm in LA." So I was like, "You said if I'm ever here." He was like, "Nick, you supposed to let me know." All right. And he met up with me, chilling. He gave me tickets to the Daily Show, but he wasn't there. He was like, "I'm flying out. I ain't gonna be there," but he gave me tickets or whatever. And anything I need, he just gives to me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm writing a joke, I be like, "Yo, is this trash or not?" so um so I would put him up there too. And just like he's really great with, like, bro, he's super great with callbacks. He's super great with the process of writing a premise. Like it is none like him, dog. So that's my Mount Rushmore.
What advice would you give to any comedian that's listening to this right now?
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Do something else. And if you still are saying like, "I don't care whatever," I ain't hearing nothing that dude's saying, "I'm still doing it," then that means you're a comedian. You know, that definitely means you're a comedian. I would say have fun. The root word of funny is fun. So when people are like, "Yo, this guy is fun," uh, run your race, because don't look at nobody else pockets. You know what I'm saying? Run your race. And you know what? The best advice I will say, right? Everybody always want to give comedy game, right? Be patient and work on you as a human. because when you work on you as a human and as a person, and you really start doing the self work and diving deep into you, your childhood traumas, what your mother didn't do, what your dad didn't do, how you feel about things, what your triggers are, and growing to become a better person, all of that will start to come out, and that'll show. That's gonna show. You're gonna find things to talk about. um, because when the pandemic happened, like nobody had, they weren't performing, and they sucked as humans, and it showed. So if you always doing that self work, man, you don't need the validation of other people. You ain't chasing clout, you ain't chasing clubs, you're not doing anything, you're not selling your soul. So when you really, really, really work on yourself, that's the best thing I would say, dog. And that might be unpopular because I don't hear people talk about that, but I'm quick to tell somebody, nah, man, you need to go ahead and make sure you heal, bro. Don't come to comedy for a healing thing because they take this away. Then who are you?
Message.
Trayvon, tell people why they should listen to comedians in bed.
You should listen to comedians in bed because comedians have we first of all, we got the best perspectives, man. You know what I'm saying? And y'all got my man Ty. Y'all hear the voice. Y'all hear the voice when he come on. He like, yeah, I'm saying, y'all know where y'all at, baby. I got to get real close where they can hear it. You know what I'm saying? Which is funny because like I'm bigger than you, but like your voice is like really, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Yeah. Like people see me and think it's gonna be like, well, this is gonna be a thunderous voice, and here you come talking, nigga, and I'm just like, so yeah, man, you out here. They should listen because one, you bring quality people on a regular. You bring quality content, and y'all be dropping some jewels on here. And I think comedians are just the funniest. We're the most well-rounded entertainers. Like I don't like think about it. We got to know how to do a bit of it all. So that's why you should listen to comedians in bed.
Trayvon, man, tell people where they can find you at.
Man, you can find me on all social media platforms. It's Trayvon Fulton, Trayvon Fulton. It's my name. Ain't no dashes in there. Ain't no hyphens in there. Ain't no bald headed man for life. Nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just my name, man. So if y'all look that up, and if you Google, try to put comedian Trayvon Fulton because Trayvon Martin will pop up. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? So, but I've worked so hard to the point that now, like when you put Trayvon Fulton, like the comedian stuff comes up now, you know what I'm saying? But that took years and years and years.
Hey man, be sure to follow him on all things social. We drop an episode every Tuesday on my YouTube channel at TYE Comedy, live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or you can follow us on our Instagram at Comedians in Bed podcast, man. Go ahead and give us a follow for like weekly clips and things of that nature, man. We want to thank my man Trayvon for coming in to today on the show all the way from Philly. Hey man, we'll see you guys next week.